Hello guys, welcome back to the gaming channel Despwns. So for today's video we are talking all about Bastion and how he compares to the other heroes of Overwatch and generally just how good or bad he is as a hero. So first off, I'll just start by saying I fucking hate Bastion, okay? Like I literally hate him to the point where every day when I go to sleep I get to see his smug, shitty, robot bitch ass in my brain while I have nightmares about it for days on end. See, Bastion is what I consider one of my cancerous heroes. He's one of the heroes I switch to when I want to be just a giant fucking tumor on the battlefield. Just, you know, melt fools, just fucking be a total asshole. Bastion is my default character that I switch to when I want to be an asshole. So now that we have that cleared up, assessing Bastion as a character is really hard because Bastion is probably the most counterable hero in Overwatch. But that said, a good Bastion player knows that they're easily counterable, so a lot of the times a good Bastion player will just do the opposite of what normal Bastions do, and then that just makes them a much better Bastion player. So the first thing I will note is that Bastion is definitely better on defense. Very few times is Bastion on attack a good thing. Like sometimes, I guess, if you're like escorting a payload and you're actually on the payload and you have maybe a Reinhardt protecting you, but even then you're still very, very out in the open and easily counterable. So even then I would say, you know, don't go on attack with Bastion. So as for my personal tips on how I play Bastion, my first one definitely is don't fire at a Genji. Just don't fucking do it. If you are going to fire at a Genji to maybe draw out his deflect, only fire like 2 bullets at a time, and then always look behind you as soon as he's done deflecting, because 90% of the time a Genji will do his dash and get behind you to try to get a vantage point. So always look behind you, because that way you can kind of anticipate his move and be firing at him while he is behind you. My next tip is always move around when you're a Bastion. Never camp in the same spot, because you are easily predictable when you are just camping in the same spot. The same dude will come after you over and over and over again, and if you're, you know, constantly dying as a Bastion, that's probably why. You probably need to move and do something different, so always be moving when you're Bastion. The next super important tip is don't forget that there's more than just Bastion's turret configuration. I've gone several games as Bastion where I hardly transform into his turret configuration and I just sort of walk around as Recon Bastion, because you know, just in that form he actually does quite a bit of damage still. He's basically kind of a shittier Soldier 76 in that form, so you know, just being able to move around and deal quite a bit of damage and heal yourself is fantastic, so don't forget that you can do that. Also, speaking about his self-heal, it is probably the most valuable tool that Bastion has, because, you know, if you do get more than 2 seconds where you can just heal up, it is so fucking invaluable, not only because it is something that you can just constantly be doing, it doesn't have like a cooldown or anything like that, but also it does charge your ultimate ability now, so that is fucking fantastic, so make sure always to be healing. I also mentioned a little bit ago not to use his turret configuration as much as other Bastion players do, and the reason is you know, because he is super counterable. If you're out in the open, then a lot of snipers can fuck you up, etc, etc. So when it is good to use his turret configuration, I found, is in close combat, so like in tight spaces. So in the map Elois, the well, actually no, in Elois, the lighthouse, that is a really good spot to use Bastion's turret configuration. Some spots in King's Row where there's that, you know, the windy road, that's a good spot to use it. But generally most maps have a lot of open areas, so if you are in those maps and you are using Bastion, try to find a spot where you're not super exposed to snipers and not super exposed to other heroes like Pharah that could fuck you up from a distance, because while Bastion's turret configuration does have a lot more damage output, from farther away it is really hard to kill something, so make sure you're not exposed. The last thing I'll say is that everyone knows that Bastion is a giant cunt, so that said, don't feel bad or shy to be a giant cunt. If you keep melting a dude in the same spot, chances are that same salty hero will come back and try to find you in that same spot, so anticipate that. Be in a different spot so that when he comes back to try to fuck you up in the same spot that you were at, you can fuck him up from a different angle and get him even more salty. It is just so fantastic to see when a player will legitimately leave a game because Bastion is such an asshole. So that said, be a fucking twat. Camp behind a door, camp near their spawn, who gives a shit? You're Bastion. Don't have regard for your team or what you're doing. You're Bastion. Teabag every single enemy. Why? Because you're Bastion. Boop boop, motherfucker. I'm the worst. So if you're ever feeling like a big sack of shit playing Bastion, don't feel sad about it. You are Bastion, okay? You are fucking Bastion. If Bastion is good at one thing, it's striking fear and worry into an enemy team. If they have to even think that there's a Bastion, you know, camping behind a door or something, or hiding behind a corner, that's another second that you've burned off their objective timer. So fuck it. Be a twat. As you can tell, I get really angry about talking about Bastion. I apologize, but yes, he is a dirty, dirty twatsicle. Also, huge thanks to my boy Atomic Muffins for the footage used in this video. I actually don't have a lot of really great footage as Bastion because I totally fucking suck at him, but thank you so much, Muffins, for coming to the rescue. But that said, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video about me talking about Bastion. If you'd like to see any other, you know, topics about Overwatch or anything you'd want to see from me on this channel, make sure to leave that in the comments down below and I'll check those out. With that said, I will see you next time, and fair winds.
Yo, these guys are fucking sus.
They're really mean. I think I'll just fuck about.
Death walks among you, motherfuckers.
Oh, I just got a clip. Oh, I just got a clip.
You have a
Play the
clip?
game.
Weird.
I got a clip. I got play of the game and I did a teabag for it. I just got a quad feed. It just got me a fucking thing of me teabagging.